Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Mike Talks. And today, what I'm going to be talking about is going to be quite sensitive because I know with the wake of the killing of George Floyd in America last year, some things happened, it shouldn't have happened. Like what the cops did, everybody knew it was bad. But then there was something that moved into the game of football, especially in the Premier League. Basically, I think in the whole of England. And a lot of teams that got into this stuff were basically, I think, the whole league system, uh, where for the rest of the season, Black Lives Matter was written on the back of the jerseys. And now in the 2020-2021 season, people kneel down before every match, right? Now I get it's for a good cause. Yeah, or against racism and stuff like that. Racism is not allowed. There is no place for racism in the sport, and that's how things should be. But for me, is the question I have is why do people have to kneel down to show that racism shouldn't be a thing? I'm not against fighting racism. No, I'm not saying that. And I understand the effort behind it. Like, yeah, it's to bring awareness. But that is not how you fight racism by kneeling down before every match. No. Maybe it's just me. But I don't get, like, why does someone have to kneel down before a match? And it's something I can't understand. Especially when I went to do more research and read about the organization. I'm like, yo, did you guys read this before you guys started doing this? But then I later learned that the Premier League, I think they removed the Black Lives Matter and replaced it with war against racism or no place for racism in this game. I think something like that though. But hey, tell me what you think down in the comment section because this is something I've really been thinking about. Because I believe like there are other race like racist events that have happened in the game and nothing you could say nothing was really done about it. I think this is something you need to teach people rather than say, oh, we're going to kneel down and just do nothing about it. You can't just keep posting ads like, oh, no place for this. You have to go and teach people. Like, nobody is born racist. Nobody is born racist. People learn these things. People are trained into this stuff. Like when they grow up, they see things. They are influenced by their environment. So I think for me, I think there should be more sensitization to communities in England, communities in every community in Europe, communities around the world on the issue of racism. Because I think mostly in football, we don't talk about racism that a lot of Asian footballers face. We mostly talk about racism when it's a black person. We don't talk about it when it's a white person. I think it's a thing that really we really need to check it because honestly, I don't see how kneeling down changed nothing. It's just blow the whistle from the start of the game and they keep playing. There's no point kneeling down because that action in its own self doesn't change nothing. You know, you could say, oh, should we go into schools, teach kids like, hey, this is why you shouldn't do this. You guys are born equal. And here's the thing: most of these innocent kids don't know nothing about this stuff. It is what their parents teach them. It is what their communities teach them that make them behave in a certain way. And I know where there are fines that Yes, sometimes the people are fined for racism and stuff like that. Particular fans that have also been banned from certain stadiums. But look at before, when there's a racist event or activity, nothing happens to the club, you know? It was like, oh, and especially when there's a huge section of fans making racist chants, nothing happened to the club. All they do is like, oh, maybe they say, okay, next week, no fans in the stadium for the next 3 games, maybe sometimes like that. And that's it. That's not how you fight racism. Like, I think if you want to fight racism, I think you should you should find the clubs really, like, find them where it hurts, and stuff like that. Now, not recently, Cavani was fined for a post on social media where he said something like "negrito." I think he didn't imply anything uh, racist, but then I think the FA found him guilty. I don't get it. That is not the kind of thing you should fight for. Now, if you say you're fighting racism, that's not the kind of thing, because he was speaking his language. And I think the same thing happened with the Romanian guy when there was the Romanian referee. I think the match again between Istanbul something in Turkey. I don't know the full name. It's hard to pronounce. And PSG. And the fourth official was describing uh, one of the assistant managers on the bench of the Istanbul of the team from Turkey, and the assistant manager was black. So he was Romanian, the assistant referee, and he was pointing to the assistant manager, talking to the referee, and he said negro. Like, that is his language. The whole bench erupted. I'm like, yo, is this how football is going to be from now on? That when someone just feels like, oh, you said something that sounds racist, even if it's not racist, then fine, we should, like, walk off the pitch. Really? Come on. If you were winning the Champions League final 2-0, would you walk off the field because someone described you as Negro? Like, literally, are we going to stop people from speaking their languages now because of that? Because things like that is, like, for me, is what make racism sound more like a little insignificant in a way. Like, these are not the kind of things that we should be worried about. I mean, people were like, there was a time where people were just like segregated just basically because of the color of your skin. You can't do some certain things. But now, because someone described you in his language, and all of a sudden it's a racist incident. How do we go about that kind of stuff, How do we do that? Now, I know I might offend some people with my thoughts, but then that is why I created this channel, to have conversations like this, I'm not perfect, I don't know everything. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you like having conversations like this or topics like this, please give a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.